Planning a stay of several months in Dhaka? Well, if you're a professional, an expat, a student, or even relocating with your family, you are in exactly the right place. Relocating to a bustling, dynamic city for a medium-term stay brings a very specific set of challenges. And honestly, chief among them is finding the right place to live. So, in this explainer, we're going to break down a practical, step-by-step guide to renting a furnished, serviced apartment in Dhaka. We're looking for that perfect balance of comfort, flexibility, and convenience, just to make sure your stay is as stress-free as possible. Okay, let's dive into our roadmap for today. We'll cover the missing middle ground, choosing your location first, defining what furnished actually means, inspecting before you sign, calculating the real cost, and finally, finding your Dhaka home.
Section 1. The Missing Middle Ground. Finding Balance in Dhaka.
Look, whenever you plan a stay of 3, 6, or maybe even 8 months, you run headfirst into a fundamental problem with accommodation. You're staying way too long for a quick visit, but not nearly long enough to establish permanent roots. So you're faced with two extremes, and honestly, both can leave you feeling super frustrated. On one hand, you've got the short-term hotel. Sure, it's convenient for a few nights, but it quickly becomes incredibly expensive and, let's face it, pretty impersonal for a stay of several months. On the other hand, you have the long-term unfurnished lease. This means you have to spend your first few crucial weeks buying beds, sofas, refrigerators, stuff you are eventually going to have to abandon or sell at a massive loss when you leave. Neither of these extremes is ideal. So what's the ultimate solution? It's the furnished serviced apartment. Think of it as a private living space that already has everything you need. Depending on the property, it comes with a bed, a dining table, kitchen appliances, and even daily conveniences like housekeeping, security, and internet. It literally removes all that exhausting work of setting up a home from scratch. It empowers you to just move in, unpack your bags, and immediately focus on your work, your family, and, actually settling into the city. Moving right along to Section 2. Choose your location first. This is basically the golden rule of Dhaka real estate. In a vibrant, fast-paced city like Dhaka, your location completely dictates your daily routine. So ask yourself right off the bat, is this place close to work, school, or my business meetings? Before you fall head over heels for a property's beautiful interior, you absolutely must prioritize your daily commute. Think about the hospitals, shopping areas, restaurants, and transit options you'll need. Because trust me, a gorgeous living room is not going to make up for losing 3 hours of your day in transit. And here's a crucial point to remember. The illusion of a location can be vastly different from its reality. Like we just said, a beautiful apartment is incredibly frustrating if you're stuck in gridlock traffic just trying to get to the grocery store. You always want to check the location at different times of the day. A street that looks wonderfully peaceful and quiet at 2 in the afternoon, it might transform into an absolute rush hour nightmare by 5. To give you a head start, here is a list of Dhaka neighborhoods you should definitely consider. Areas like Gulshan, Banani, Baridhara, Dhanmondi, Uttara, and the nearby business districts are super popular for medium-term stays. But keep in mind, each of these areas offers a very different lifestyle and price range depending on what you actually need. If you travel a lot, for instance, an area with easy airport or transit access might trump absolutely everything else.
All right. Section 3. Defining furnished and discovering what is actually included.
Now, this is where so many renters get caught out because the word furnished is, highly ambiguous. To one landlord, it means a fully stocked kitchen and lightning-fast Wi-Fi. To another, it literally just means a mattress on a frame and a single folding chair. So, empower yourself with this checklist. A bed and a decent mattress are essential for daily living. Internet and Wi-Fi are non-negotiable for work and staying in touch. Housekeeping is going to save you precious time, and security is vital for your peace of mind. The golden rule here is simple. Never, ever assume that an advertised price covers all these services. Always ask for the complete monthly cost in writing.
Section 4. Inspect before you sign. Navigating viewings and agreements.
So you found a place with a great location and all the right amenities on paper. Now it's time to verify its true condition. Here is a totally straightforward process for inspecting an apartment. Step 1. Do not fall into the trap of relying solely on wide-angle, highly edited, or outdated photos. Step 2. Visit the property in person. Or if you're out of the country, demand a recent, real-time video tour. Step 3. Actually test the water supply and flip on the air conditioning units to make sure they work. And Step 4, which people almost always forget, just stop and listen. Are you right next to a noisy restaurant? Or worse, heavy construction work? Next, you want to arm yourself with this rapid-fire checklist of questions for the landlord. Ask them point blank, what exactly is included in this rent? How much is the security deposit? And under what exact conditions is it returned? Are the utilities fixed, metered, or already included? Who handles the maintenance if the AC breaks down at midnight? And what is the notice period for leaving? Any reliable professional property manager should be able to answer these questions clearly right on the spot.
Section 5. Calculating the real cost. Looking beyond the advertised rent.
This is a super critical step because the rent you see in a listing is almost never the final number you end up paying. The advertised rent is literally just one slice of the overall pie. When you start adding in the cost of utilities, internet, separate housekeeping charges, maybe parking fees, and management service fees, a seemingly cheap rent can quickly inflate into a massive monthly bill.
And this leads us to a pretty counterintuitive truth about renting. A super low advertised rent can actually become highly expensive once all those hidden charges are tacked on at the end of the month. Conversely, an apartment with a slightly higher upfront rent can actually be the smarter, far more economical option in the long run, if things like Wi-Fi, utilities, and maintenance are completely bundled into that flat rate. Do the math before you sign anything.
Section 6. Finding your Dhaka home. Making comfort part of your budget.
Let's bring this whole thing home. As our source material brilliantly points out, renting a furnished apartment for several months should be approached as a lifestyle decision, not simply a search for the lowest monthly price. Several months is a long time to compromise on your basic comfort. A good bed, dependable air conditioning, clean bathrooms, reliable internet, these shouldn't be compromised. Having those things dialed in makes everyday life considerably easier and just way more productive.
So where do you begin your search now that you're armed with all these facts? Well, if you happen to be looking for a furnished, serviced apartment, specifically in the Bashundhara residential area of Dhaka, let REIT-Limited help you find the right place. They are a fantastic, trusted starting point to help navigate everything we've just talked about today.
You can easily reach out to them by calling +880-1711-993377 or simply by checking out their website at hotels.com/BD. They can help ensure your stay is comfortable, flexible, and genuinely feels like your home away from home. We've covered a ton of ground in this explainer today. Now that you know how to spot the hidden costs, evaluate the different neighborhoods, and ask landlords those essential tough questions, are you ready to find your true home away from home in Dhaka? Use this guide, demand absolute clarity on your contracts, and whatever you do, don't compromise on your comfort. Thanks so much for joining us, and happy apartment hunting!